Hello everyone, today we'll have a look at the game between Jinchi Bai and Ding Liren. Both of them are Chinese grandmasters. d4 knight f6, c4 d6, knight c3 bishop b4, going for the Ningzhou Indian. Knight f3, castle, bishop d5, c5. c5 is played to attack the center and also to play the queen to a5 at some point. e3 defending the center, captures, and now he takes back with the queen, which is not very normal because the queen is very vulnerable in the center. Knight goes to c6, queen d3, h6, and now h6 is played just to take out the bishop from pinning the knight. You don't want the bishop to stay on g5, you want to attack it. Bishop h4, d5, rook d1, letting the rook to an active square, d5, bishop c3, knight e4, knight d2, unpinning the knight. Knight to c5, attacking the vulnerable queen. Queen goes to c2, d4. Again, we cannot afford to lose any time here as black. We want to open the center very quickly. This king is not castled and we have to take the advantage of that. Knight f3, e5, fortifying the center. And now this bishop is also very active. And knight into e5. Now can you think what did black do here? He went for d into c3, which is a queen sacrifice, which is completely insane. But again, as I keep mentioning again and again, material is not the main thing in chess. How active your pieces are is more important, because even if you have the pieces but you can't use their benefit, right? What can you do with them? So cb2 check. Rook goes back, then you can just play rook d8, I think, for you. So king e2 was played and you just capture rook into d8, queen into b2. Knight a4, attacking the queen, queen c2, knight c3, again giving a check, king goes to f3, rook d4. What a beautiful move, right? Because you take the advantage of the fact that he cannot take here since it's a fork. If he plays knight c6, then you have bishop g4 mate, or even a pawn g4 mate, and you have the pawn mate here. So h3 was played, h5, renewing the threat, bishop h2, to give some space to the king. And now look at black's position and compare it to the white's position. This rook, the bishops, the knight, the queen, they're all there, but they're of no use. There's no coordination between the pieces, while as black's pieces coordinate so beautifully. Now the move is rook d2, because if he takes, again, knight e4 and knight d2, so there's a fork. Queen b3, knight e4 check, king goes to h4, bishop e7, king h5, king g7, bishop f4, bishop f5, threatening bishop g6 check, bishop h6, king h7, queen into b7. He wants to counter-attack in some way, but now it's too late. The king on h5 is really badly placed. You play rook into f2 to have this knight g3 idea to mate the opponent. He plays bishop g5 so he can have additional square if knight g3 is played. But now simply rook h8, knight f7, bishop g6 check, king into g4, and now comes the final move of the game, knight to e5, deflecting the knight. So when the knight moves, the h8 rook is no longer attacked. So knight into e5, bishop f5 check, king h4 or king h5. King h4 would also mean a checkmate, but king h5, king g7. And now rook h6 is the final nail in the coffin. This was convincing victory from Ding Liren over Jinchi Bai. That's why he is the world champion.